Hi, I'm Judy Shaw. I'm on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and joining me today is Dave Mustaine. Dave is the founder of thrash metal band Megadeth. Dave, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here.
Thanks.
So tell me, how did you get your start in music, and specifically thrash metal?
Well, the music part, I just did it because I had a sister that played piano awfully, and I picked up the guitar to cover the noise, and it just became my friend after a while. Mm-hmm. And how I got my start in thrash metal was a particular music style that was so aggressive it really addressed a lot of the angst that I had as a teen.
Okay, so how is thrash metal different from heavy metal?
Good question. Thrash metal is a lot different because heavy metal has some chords. Mm-hmm. Thrash metal has a lot of picking on what's called a riff, which would be repetitive notes. Also, thrash metal originated from the new wave of British heavy metal. Mm-hmm. And heavy metal was part of the British invasion. Led Zeppelin, stuff like The Who, bands that followed after that. Iron Maiden would be considered that, Judas Priest, who we're playing with tomorrow night, Madison Square Garden, the Scorpions would be considered heavy metal. We're thrash metal because it's a lot faster, a lot heavier. I don't know where the word thrash came from, probably because people are thrashing their bodies out when they listen to the music.
Okay, so Megadeth is actually one of the 4 bands that's been credited with starting thrash metal.
Right.
Talk to me about Megadeth and all your success.
Well, the term you're talking about, the big 4, has to do with Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, and Metallica. And we all are affectionately called the big 4. A lot of people argue that there should be the big 5 because they're saying that Exodus or Overkill should be members of the big 5. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get into that argument because I tend to think there should be like the big 6 or 7.
Okay.
But that for us is great because we have been lifted to this position where we have been set apart from everybody else, and it's very flattering for us because we get to do concerts that are a lot bigger and in a lot more removed places that people don't necessarily get to tour. We just came back from an Asian tour. We did Beijing, Shanghai, we did Malaysia, Singapore, the Philippines. We've done 4 cities in India. We played there 13 times more than any other band. We've been to India more than any other band. We've been to Brazil more than any other band. So, love to tour.
So, very popular internationally.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So now, your most recent album, Dystopia, and you have a album right here. You did something very interesting around the release of this album. Tell me about that.
Which part? The virtual reality part? The pledge part?
There's a
lot of different things that we did that's a little different from the norm when you do a record campaign. The pledge thing, I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. We had fans that were able to come visit us in the studio, come get guitar lessons from us and drum lessons in the studio, buy used equipment, all kinds of great stuff. That's one thing. You may be talking about the virtual reality thing too, which
it seems like that's very unique in itself. I mean, with releases, do bands usually invite their fans to come into the studio and give them their equipment?
I never heard of that before, and I thought, if Led Zeppelin would have said, hey, you want to come and fill out this form, come here, do this, I would have went, sign me up.
And tell me about the virtual reality.
The virtual reality thing was really great because we did something, again, Megadeth had the very first band website, October 31st, 1994. When Euthanasia came out, we released Megadeth Arizona. So we've always been at the front of technology.
Yes.
And with this record, we had talked to the people at Oculus Rift with the 360-degree filming. Mm-hmm. And when most people film, they'll put the camera on a tripod, and you get a 360-degree view, but it's stationary still.
Right.
So what we did is we mounted the cameras on radio-controlled machines, and they moved through the whole entire studio where we were at. So you got a 360-degree, and then it would be 360-degree back here. So it's always constantly changing the position, the point of view for the fans. And there were so many other cameras in there, they could switch from camera to camera to camera. And with that release, we also provided the fans with their own virtual reality viewer headpiece. So you just assemble it, put your phone in there, download an app, and then you're
Wow.
off to the races.
Wow, that is very, very unique and sounds very exciting. So now you won a Grammy for Dystopia. Congratulations
Thanks.
on that. What was that like?
Well,
Receive
we've
that?
been nominated many times. This is our 12th time. I was backstage at the Grammys a few times ago, and Kenny G came up to me and said, "What time is this?" And I said, I think it was 10 or 11. And he goes, "Well, don't feel bad. I took 21 times getting nominated before I won." And I was like, "Gee, thanks, Kenny." So,
You didn't hit Kenny G, did
no,
you?
No. He hit me, actually. And then we ended up winning it, and it was great. There was all kinds of controversy around it because the band that plays music for the bands, when they walk up, they played another band's song very badly. And everyone was going like, "How dare they play that song?" And I figured, you know what, I don't care, man. I was listening to, the roar of the crowd when we were running up there to get the award. I didn't care what they were playing.
Hey, and you were getting a Grammy, so.
Yeah.
Now, you've been touring for 2 years in support of Dystopia.
On this record, yeah.
Now, that's a long time.
It is.
What's it like to be on the road?
Well, it depends. If you're doing it because you like the party, it will be exciting for about the first hangover, and then you realize that it's work. If you love your job and you are an entertainer and that's in your blood, then there is a melody that just haunts you, that rides in the air, calling you out to the road, out to go play. And I call it wanderlust, in that we have to play.
Okay, no, that sounds great. Now, Megadeth Bootcamp. What is that experience?
We had the fans come from around the world to my estate in Fallbrook and spend the weekend with us. We were doing clinics, and David Ellison he's a pastor, so he did a church service and then did a wedding service there. And at the very end, we were recording fans singing along to an official track in my studio. And at the very end, we had all the fans on my front lawn playing Symphony of Destruction together.
Wow.
So it was really a great experience. We went to wine tasting at the vineyard. We had the brewmaster from Unibrew come down and explain to the fans about the beer. We had meals together. It was just the greatest experience.
Yeah. So now, speaking about wine and beer, you are actually a businessman. You have your vineyard, craft beer. Tell our viewers about this.
Well, we've been really fortunate. In 2014, I started our wine business when I played with the San Diego Symphony. And it wasn't really something we thought we were going to end up doing. It just took off. And the beer company was something that I did for myself because during the day I don't want a glass of wine, I wanted a beer. So we talked to a couple of people. Unibrew was the perfect partnership for us, and this is a gold medal beer. We won a gold medal at the Chicago International Beer Festival. And this is triple medal winning, gold, double gold, and a platinum. And the platinum means that all the judges that were in the competition voted for that for first place.
Wow.
So we have several different wines, but that's our first rosé, and it surprised everybody.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's wonderful. Okay, so final question. What's next for Dave Mustaine?
Well, we're going to do this tour with the Scorpions, then we have a run down in South America, and then we're going to take time off, tour's over, get ready to do the next record. I'm working on a video game that encompasses a lot of the band's history, a lot of little riffs that we've never used before, stuff like that, and just prepare for the next tour, next campaign. We owe our record label one more record, so we at least are going to be doing one more record. I don't see the end in sight for us because the band's getting along really well right now, and we're playing great. So.
Well, congratulations on all of your success.
Thanks.
And thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.